It's the middle of the winter, the middle of the day, and it's a bluebird sky day. So I'm grabbing my skis and my infrared camera and heading to the golf course. So normally I wouldn't come out on a bluebird sky day in the middle of the day, but with infrared, it's okay. You can shoot in the middle of the day and still have things turn out. And actually having a blue sky or partly cloudy sky is better for infrared in the midday. So I have a modified Nikon Z6 camera with one of the Life Pixels modifications. I think they call it the enhanced color, or maybe 665, somewhere around there. And today I'm shooting my 24-120, which I haven't tried on this camera. So I'm just gonna check it to make sure that there's no hot spots or anything. So this is a great little scene. I love the tree, the cedar tree right here, the waterfall in the background. I'm gonna shoot black and white and square format on this one just for fun. I never shoot square format. I hardly ever shoot black and white except when I'm shooting infrared. So it's a great March day just to experiment and just kind of have fun out on skis under the blue sky. So usually the only time that I come to the golf course for photography is just to photograph the waterfalls along the course, and there's some pretty areas back up towards the ski hill that shoot really well in the fog. So the river valley is pretty, there's a bridge, and I think I'm gonna make it to that later today, hopefully, if it stays blue sky. But I'm gonna go up the riverside first and maybe over to the cemetery. So there's this arch over here, the gate to the cemetery, and it's really cool because it's black against the white snow, and then the foliage in the background, which is mainly cedar and spruce, is also going white. So that's gonna be interesting to see. Wow, it's really getting hot. So there's this pump house behind me for a pond that's over there, and I stopped and just peeked inside just to get a little mechanical shot, and this is what that looks like. So there's a row of trees up against the blue sky, this little row right here, and it looks really cool. So I'm gonna try to isolate those trees so that they stand out in the picture. Just getting down a little bit lower to the ground, just so I can get more of that blue sky above them. This square format is actually kind of challenging. I'm not exactly sure where to put the horizon. So I'm trying with a lot of snow, I'm trying with the trees in the middle, and I'm trying with a lot of blue sky. So we'll see which one turns out to be the best. The thing about experimenting is you just don't know until you actually do the experiment and see what things look like. So I don't mind shooting a bunch of extra pictures when I'm out and about. I'm not trying to get that perfect shot on every photo I take. But you just never know what you're gonna like when you get back. I got a good idea because I've been shooting for a while. But when I'm shooting infrared, I just like to experiment a little bit more than with my typical landscape work. All right, I'm almost at the top of the golf course, but probably the best viewpoint because you look straight out to Lake Superior. And my goal here was I was gonna track my skis up through the center of the golf course and use that as a shot, showing the skis heading out to Lake Superior. I thought that would look pretty cool. So now I get to ski down all that way, cross the river, and either head back to the car for lunch or eat a snack. And then I got one more spot that I want to shoot. So there's a bridge over the river that I really like. Woo! Yikes. Wipe out. So skiing down to the valley, I found these cattails right in front of me, and I'm a sucker for cattails, so I stopped to photograph them. And I wanted a really wide shot showing the whole sky and everything, but I noticed that at 24, even at f/5.6, I'm getting a hot spot right in the middle, which is not ideal. So I'm not sure that this lens is gonna work for me. And I have heard that the Tamron 28-75 2.8 works really well for infrared, and Nikon now makes a version of that lens, but it goes for about $1,000, and I'm not sure I'm willing to sink another $1,000 of lenses in when I have that one that works. Particularly when it only goes up to 75. But that 24 to 70 just isn't all that sharp on the Nikon. And I could tell that this lens is significantly sharper. So maybe I have to start shooting at like 35 and longer, because I certainly like having the 120 on the lens. It really allows you to isolate the subject, like I do here. You know, I'm zoomed in pretty far for this next shot at about 50. So I guess I could do that with the other lens. But I did notice a few other spots that I'm zooming in quite a bit more. On the way down, I stopped to photograph my ski trails. And on some of those, I was zoomed pretty far at 100, 120. We'll see how they turn out. We'll see how this one turns out. But so far, the evaluation on this lens is at 24 millimeters. It's probably not going to be an infrared camera, even at f4. So, or infrared lens, even at f4.
Never seen anything.
I made it back to the car for a little lunch and some water, and along the way I stopped to photograph the clubhouse in the golf course and a few other scenes, and this is what those look like. All right, we made it to the bridge and it's still there, so this is the shot that I wanted to get today, and I'm gonna work the scene for a while and see what happens.
Let me show you.
That's a wrap. Thanks for shooting with me today, and I'll see you next time. Skiing back up the hill to get the GoPro camera. Huh, you still have battery life. That's amazing. I've only gone through 3.